Gator fans, we want to welcome you to a very sad edition, live edition of the Talking Gator. You got Donnie B and I here for next little bit, anyhow. And we are going to do as usual, give you our very unprofessional opinions. I'm your favorite four-string Monday morning quarterback, Donnie B. He is my favorite armchair assistant head coach. Donnie B, how you doing tonight?
Man, we're doing good. We're doing good. Good Monday so far. Good day. Good weather.
That
Had
was
a
a
great.
Yeah, that was good to wake up to good weather for sure. Hey, before we get started,
Yeah.
before I ask you to go like and subscribe, I want to thank our viewers and our subscribers for jumping on board here the last few days. I'm seeing you. We appreciate you. We'll shout out to High Top Sports for letting me on their show the other night, their live show Saturday night. That's Donnie, you need to check them out, High Top Sports. They put out a link and it's a call-in show.
Yeah.
And they just grab people, kind of like just grab them from the, from the lobby, which is really
Right.
cool. I got a pretty good few seconds in there the other night. I did have to follow probably the best media take. Terrell, I don't remember his last name, but shout out Terrell and High Top Sports for that take and letting me come on. I really appreciate the opportunity to vent immediately
Awesome.
after the game. I will admit I'm probably made a lot of ignorant comments. It was a lot out of frustration, but kind of as I sit back and look back, I'm able to reevaluate my thoughts, some good, some bad. We're going to get into those unprofessional opinions tonight. Donnie B,
What's up, my
we'll
man?
lead this off tonight.
All right. Yeah.
And I want to start with the booms, like you said last time. Let's keep it on schedule, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I gotta so we have to start with the booms. Arkansas comes to Florida, beats Florida for the first time in the swamp. It was only their sixth visit to the swamp, but however, I knew that was bad news as soon as they started saying that. As soon as I heard it on the TV, it's like in my head, I'm like, oh God, here we go. Anyhow, my first boom, Donnie, this past weekend is despite that first play from scrimmage on our offense, ball gets stripped out of Ricky Pearsall's hands. And not only did they recover from that, but I don't hate, blame, or hold Ricky accountable for that whatsoever. That defender played the shit out of that ball. He did his job exceptionally, and that happens. It hurts a
Yeah.
little bit because our defense isn't there. Our defense isn't, making
Mm.
those. Anyhow, I'm on booms. Offense recovered fast
Yeah. Stay
after
on
the
booms.
first play.
Stay on booms. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
in that second drive they responded very fast and
Yeah.
kind of through that first half of that first quarter. Although it was a rough start, last half of that first quarter, boy, I was
Right.
pumped. Man, I was pumped. Okay, here's our bowl
Yeah.
game, right? Here comes our bowl game. Another boom for me. Sacks and interceptions finally on the books, man. We
Yeah.
recorded some sacks and a legit interception. I know we had that one against South Carolina at the end of the game. That to me, the throw was out of desperation, so I really don't count that one. Although we do need to give credit to that defender. He doesn't have, it's not on statistics, which is weird to me.
Mm.
Anyhow, a good, got a sack home, got an interception, a legit play, defensive play. And then of course on defense again, man, they're catching hell, but the turnovers were in our favor, 2-1. So with the fumble and the interception, we had them 2-1. And
Right.
then I mentioned on High Top Sports live show the other day that I was less impressed with the offense than I was with the defense, but I cannot deny the fact that our offense put up 36 freaking points.
Yeah. Good call. Yeah.
So that's my
Yeah.
booms, Donnie. I'm interested to hear your
Yeah.
booms and what you got to
Yeah.
say.
Well, first of all, I think that I want to kind of comment on that Pearsall, which I like to just say numbers because calling out these kids, I don't like it, but unless it's in a positive way. Pearsall, that's an effort play. You know what I mean? It's not like he was trying to get the extra yard. That's an effort. That's okay. I mean, he's trying to get that extra yard. That's part of what you're taught to do. Now, I was looking at the ability of the play itself. I thought it was a great play call. I think we caught him off guard, and he just the guy, like you said, the guy played an amazing defensive player, made a great play on the ball, and the ball got loose. But listen, effort. I'm never going to complain about an effort turnover. You know how the offense now, you can get your running back running up in there, and you can bring your offense line tackles behind and just push, right? Just push. And they're grabbing at the ball, they're trying to pull it out and whatever, and there's like octopus arms coming in. Guess what? They're all trying to grab. So as long as there's effort into it, I don't have a problem with it. It's the height over the head and all that kind of stuff that drives me crazy. But anyway, I agree with you. ETN, dude's impressive. Dude is impressive, man.
He is something else.
He is so explosive. I know we'll have him one more year. I hope he will. We don't know, but I just believe he bleeds orange and blue. I think he's going to stay with us, but he's very, very impressive. Very impressive. He's like that. He's one that kid that can kind of put that foot in the ground and go the other direction and explode. Or he sees the hole. It's not like he's looking at the first guy. That dude's toast. It's the guy behind him he's worried about already. And we used to have a number 22 that did that same thing. You remember that?
Did. I do.
And he wasn't worried about the first guy. He was done, right? He was done.
The first guy was done. I can outrun the first guy, and I can run over the second guy.
There you go. That's the kind of, yeah. We had a couple of dudes like that. Eric Rett was like that. You remember?
Yes, he was. Yeah, Fred Taylor was like that too. Fred Taylor was a second level seeker.
Good call on that. Yeah, Fred Taylor, but Emmitt Smith was the one that I'm talking about. Like he had
Definitely
eyes.
The master.
It was weird. God only gave him 2 eyes, but he could see 4 dudes. This is the craziest thing in the world, right?
Like a chameleon. His eyes could do different things.
It's crazy.
This eye be like a horse. This eye be looking this way. This eye be looking that way.
Right.
I have a question regarding ETN. It's totally kind of unfootball related, but this aggravates me, and please let me know, Donnie, and our list and our viewers. Should it aggravate me that every time we watch ETN run the ball, they have to mention his brother? Like he's living in the shadow of his, and I get it, man. His brother's great. He's local. They're close. Mama ETN is able to do this, and I love the storyline. But at some point, he's got to be just Trevor, right? And not be the shadow of Travis.
And I think that's why he's a Gator. He won't go his own direction. He loves Gainesville. He has great people there. He's got great friends there. I think he stays another year. He's already made his ticket to the NFL. The combine is going to make the difference, right? What he does in that combine is going to show him his draft ability. He's going to have plenty of tape. And this is my other boom. This boom is going to blow your mind. But I tell you, this is going to blow your mind. You're going to say,
I got to give you the whole screen for that, Donnie. Go ahead.
I love Napier doing the 2-back system. You know why? I like the rotation. You know why? It keeps them fresh. Everybody complains about that. But what you don't understand too is that when you're getting reps, they say, well, it's hard for them getting the rhythm of the game. Well, how many dudes you see run it 7 times and they're waving their hand to get out of the game anyway, right? My boom is that when 2's in there and 7's in there, they are putting effort in, dude. I mean, they're giving the Gator family, the fans, Gator country, Gator Nation, everything they want in a running back that we've been looking for years, both of those 2 dudes. So it don't matter which one it is. I think they got some, I think there's a little bit of, loyalty to number 2, but listen, the life of an NFL running back is like 2.5 years, 3.5 years. And they're going to take a beating in college so they can get to the NFL. They're going to have families and all that kind of stuff. They're both really good. They're really good. So that's my third boom is that I like the rotation running back. Some people don't like that. I do because it keeps them fresh. And I think it helps keep them off balance, the defense, because they do special things that the other does. But I like how, I love how ETN puts that foot in the ground and goes the other direction. It's just like he's on like a slingshot or something, boom, going, like,
Yeah, I have a comment coming up
yeah,
regarding, bleeding orange and blue
yeah,
inside our facilities. I don't want to get to that now, but I did pull up the stats, our rushing stats here, thanks to ESPN. Montrell Johnson is currently he's 106 for 555. Trevor Etienne is 88 for 529. So we're looking at almost 1,100 yards between these two backs. Now, I understand that's. Let me ask you this, Donnie. At what point during a season should we'll say, ranked a back ranked 1 out of 10, say he's an 8? At this point in the season, 8 games, right? Uh, how many yards does that 8 out of 10 running back have at this point in the season? Because right now we're looking at 1,100 successful yards from those two backs combined.
right.
Or is an 8 out of 10 running back at 1,100 yards at this point in the season?
I would say, yeah. I mean, well, uh, this is the thing. I see what your point, what you're getting to. Okay, I get that, but this is the deal. This is the deal. See what people don't see. This is the reason why there's a combination. I don't want to get off subject here. The reason why you have to look at the 106 for 555 and the 88 for the 528. You got to look at what both of those guys do. 2 and 7 bring to the table. It might be two dudes, but they're still bringing you 1,000 yards, and you're not even done with the season yet. You know what I mean?
I get it.
That's,
Yeah. I think that's great for two backs. 1,100 yards combined between two backs is great.
That's huge. That's
Definitely.
huge.
I would like to see Trevor improve his blocking.
Exactly. That's the problem. And that's why he doesn't start. That's why he's not the one to do.
I would love to see his put his hat on somebody. He's not afraid to put his hat on somebody. That's the thing. So he could definitely use, and that would pretty much go for the whole offense, really.
He didn't want Georgia coming at him anymore. I'll tell you that. You can go back and watch the tape.
No,
I wouldn't want him either. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying that he struggled blocking. I think that's his weakness, but he's still going to go make a lot of money in the NFL. They don't block. The running back don't block a whole lot in the NFL.
no,
In this system, if you're not able to put a hat on the offensive line to the DL, you've got to bring that back in to help you. Got to keep that right side strong so Merch can set his feet and make the throw, see the field.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
That's why 2's in there versus 7, honestly. And he's doing both the jobs. So you can't fault him. He might be that kind of kid that's just outstanding. But the point is, we got over 1,000 yards rushing, and we haven't had that in a long, long time. And nobody's saying anything about that.
I'm hoping that bringing 7 in isn't too predictable, meaning that, hey, we're running and he's not in here to pass block, right?
5 wide, right?
So whatever, it is what it is. Hey, let's go to our busts because I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
If
you are.
Yeah. For me, the first few minutes, what was it, like 7 minutes maybe, and the last 2 minutes, were the worst 7 minute or whatever it was combined of Gator football in my lifetime. They score, and I know that again we can that strip. I'm not holding Ricky accountable. It was just kind of a blow to go 14-0, and we haven't even snapped the ball but once, right? They scored in 12 seconds, 2 scores in 12 seconds, right? That just hurts. And it was simply just one great defensive play. We come back from that, but still, and then at the end of the game, it's almost, Donnie, to me, like the blunder like the offense was rolling, right? And with the time on the clock and Graham Mertz managing the game the way it was, everything was going well. Get down there, get down. You have time to spike the ball, and then the blunder there just threw all that momentum off. It killed it in just the heartbeat. And that, to me, it flustered our offense and our special teams, which were performing acceptably until then. That kind of upset me a little bit. And I want to mention one thing. It didn't go on my notes, but a bust for me, and this is a little personal. Swanee Bulldog Josh Braun, who played for Florida. Was an offensive lineman for Florida, played 2 or 3 years at Florida, transfers to Arkansas,
Right.
and comes to the Swamp and starts and manhandles us.
Yeah.
Straight
Well,
manhandles us, and that's a little personal to me because he's
well,
high school alumni. He he went to
yeah.
the same Swanee High School.
Right.
Um, his dad was athletic director at Swanee. I don't know if he still is, Coach Braun.
Yeah.
Football coach, offensive coordinator, I believe he was on, for the
Right.
Dogs, and then becomes a Gator, and there's something special about Swanee Bulldogs who become Gators. I love all Bulldogs. I don't care where they go. We got Jaquez Moore running at Duke right now, and I'm loving me some Duke because I love me some Bulldogs. I love Jaquez
Yeah.
Moore. And, I loved watching Kyler Hall at Florida State. I loved watching Kelly Jennings down in Miami and Bruce Johnson and those guys. That just warmed my heart seeing our guys do good. But when a Bulldog goes to be a Gator, it's extra special. And that's who we had in Josh Braun. And then he comes in and has pretty damn good game and helps Arkansas get their first win in the Swamp. Donnie, I'm gonna turn it over to you for your busts.
Yeah.
I'd like to get off this topic, get on the next one, even though that one's not going to be an easy one either. But
Josh was recruited by the head coach at Arkansas, and then he left, and that's why he committed to Georgia before he did Florida. And so,
I did not know that. I do. I appreciate you throwing that fact out there.
yeah. So the only reason he transferred because he wanted to play for him in the first place, and he was in a huge rotation without a promise that he was going to be in on the ones. And so he was promised he would be on the ones, and you've seen what he's been able to do. He's unbelievable. I've watched him like at Swanee. I remember, I think it was against Lincoln or somebody, but anyway, he was on the right side, and dude, he just like it was like he went to the third level. If you have a third level, just pancaking all of them. He was the first guy in front of him, the linebacker, and he got him a DB down the road a little bit. Just clean his clock. I mean, it was great tape. That dude's got a that's unbelievable. So
hey, how about the kid that committed from Florida High? Right. So Florida High School, for those of y'all that don't know, Florida High School is Florida State University's preparatory school. They are the Florida High Seminoles. There is a Seminole logo in the middle of the field. Their uniforms are identical. They come to Swanee and whoop up on Swanee, but the Gators steal a recruit from Florida High.
Right.
What was he, 4 or 5-star offensive lineman?
Right.
So the hunting you did last week worked, Donnie B. You didn't even have to leave. You didn't have to go 2 hours up the road to hunt you an offensive lineman. We appreciate you going to Tallahassee and doing that.
Brother, we got so much hunting to do. It's not even funny, but so I'm going to give you my bust. First one is that front seven we got. My God. That is like, can you just stop them? Can you just get in front of them? I mean, can you just do something? Can you call their name out? Can you grab them can you lasso them? Can you do something? Grab a face mask. Just let us know you're in the picture, man. Just go something. Grab, the horse collar, something.
Yeah, the penalty for a face mask and horse collar is less than what they're running over top of us.
Yeah, they're going 30 yards. At least get 15 of the clip. I mean, come on. I mean, look, our linebackers are like, I was hoping some kids in the portal were really going to help us. I know why they were in the portal. I mean, our front seven, and Shane will say this all the time on the show, Jay. It's just, it's so limited of what's out there that can dominate. That's not already dominating at anybody that's in the top 10. It's hard to get those kids, right now because they're in winning programs. And look, my hat's off to the head man. Napier's doing everything he can. And I am so tired. This is my other bust. I am so tired of fans getting on this guy. They're not giving him a chance. I mean, look, I get it. We want to win. There's nobody more that wants to win than me and you. Okay. We're fans. That's all we are. We're just fans. But we're not in there from Monday at 5 o'clock in the morning until Monday, 5 a.m. You know what I mean? The next day. He's there 24/7 trying to build this program. We got to get behind him. I don't look. This rotating coaches, that doesn't help us at all. I want to give you an example. Like Norville, first 2 years, all I heard was let's fire Norville. Let's fire him. Let's get him out. Now look, he's in year 4, and look, he's making some strides. and they're close. Going to be the playoffs. I mean, they don't play anybody, but I'm saying, they're probably going to be there at the end because they're going to win all their games until they come to the Swamp. But I am telling you right now that I don't care. We need some big donors since the NIL and get some cash and go find us some studs, man. I'm telling you. Hey, legally you can do it now. Go get them.
Might as well.
Listen, we have always had badass defenses. Always. We go all the way back.
This is hard to watch, dude. This defense is hard to watch.
Ron Zook had great defenses. Gary Darnell had great defenses. Well, all these people had these great defenses, man. And then we get here, and then you got after. I'm getting fired up about this. You can tell. We go all the way back to McElwain, dude. McElwain, no defense none since McElwain, none. Muschamp left, defense left. McElwain, boom, from here, nobody. And Dan Mullen didn't. I'm gonna call his name out. They didn't recruit a 4 or 5 star lineman in the whole time he was here making those millions. They get Billy Napier here, and he's working with scraps, man. I'm going to put it like this, and I know I'm spending a lot of time on this. This is my last part of my bus. I'm fired up about this, bro. I love
Go ahead, Donnie B. That's why we do this.
I love my damn Gators. You understand me? I love them.
That's why we do this.
You're like a dumpster fire. In the dumpster fire, you throw the freaking match in there, and it stinks forever, right? Starts stinking, and you keep getting that funk out of there, and that funk keeps cleaning out, and all of a sudden you got that aroma at the end of that nice fire that's burning like in your backyard when you're sitting around the chairs, chilling out, talking about the Gators in a positive way. And you get that aroma of that little bit of fire and that little smoke, little fall night, and it's real crisp. That's what we got to do. We got to clean out all this well, I say trash. They're kids, and I love them to death because their Gators are doing the best they can. But if we're gonna put some heat on the coach day in and day out, and look at what he has. You look at from one side of the ball to the next. You can see an athlete that's a 4 and 5 star versus what we have on our side. You can tell it. Georgia, like men amongst boys. Arkansas came in with the same mentality because we got tape now that we can't tackle anybody. We're not getting in front of anybody. We did at the beginning of the year, but we're playing some inferior talent, if you ask me. But the bottom line is that somehow, and we say, we had Tennessee, which miraculously we had probably our best. In no way, it's kind of like Utah last year. We had that one great game where they gave us the false hope, but the depth, you can't have your ones out there the whole entire game, and you can't stop them, and they're getting beat up on the lines, and then you got nobody bring them behind because you don't have any depth, none. Your 2s and 3s are people that people didn't want. Let's just call it like it is. We got 2 linebackers. We got the best 2 linebackers we have. They didn't even play. So we got to get some depth.
I've historically felt that Florida's big boys weren't fast enough, and Florida's fast boys weren't strong enough. And that's been a big problem, especially with our linebacker core. And before we started, the last couple of years, we've been getting some bigger dudes up front. That's how our defensive line was. They were small compared to the rest of the SEC. And to me, that just seems like, like Uman Miel. And this dude I like him, but he's just not strong enough to push past some of these ends.
Not yet. It's a baby.
And I'd love to see that. It's really frustrating that here, we had under Mullen, we had probably one of the best offenses we've ever had since, Urban left, or maybe even Spurrier for that matter. But our defense sucked. And now we're looking at, we're looking at an offense that can score 36 points in the SEC. I mean, look, we scored against Georgia. We scored 30 or 20 points against Georgia, and that's not bad.
Say it again. They what? Say it today. They what? The defense,
what?
they what? They say
suck.
No, say it. Sucked.
Sucked.
They sucked.
Yeah, it was more than you're right. I needed more U's. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, get it in there.
Yeah, I needed more U's. I needed some emphasis on it. But you brought up a great point, for Gator fan. And I'm kind of torn on the whole coaching thing. And I'm kind of at the point that I just don't know enough. But today when watching, did you watch the press conference today, Billy Napier's press conference?
No, I haven't yet. No.
My biggest takeaway from this, and I'll put it up for everybody to see, and I got to get closer because my glasses ain't good enough, but it was a comment. My biggest takeaway from this press conference, there was a comment by looks like Trek BSG or something like that, and he says in the comments, he says, I'm a Gator fan, therefore I will never hope for nor call for a coach, player, or program to fail or get fired. I'm a Gator fan, and I want Coach Napier and his program to succeed. We as Gator fans tend to be impatient and expect instant gratification. We need to give this coach and program the time that's needed to turn the Gator program into a winning program, not just for the now, but for the long term as well. Go Gators. And Trek BSG, if that's not the best take, I read all these comments on that Gator press conference, Napier's press conference today. And that man right there, I'd love to, I commented back, I'd love to get him on the show because that man sounds like somebody we can talk to. But on the other hand, Donnie, JC mentioned this morning, shout out to JC on Shane show. I'm with him. Offer Kerwin whatever he wants. That's a Gator. That's a Gator. That's an orange and blue bleeding Gator in there that would not charge the money you think he would, come lead this program. And I guarantee you, I'm with JC. Mr. Cornell, I'm with you. 120%. I think Kerwin could. Now, am I saying fire Billy? That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying that Kerwin could be a solution. Maybe he's not going to take anything but a head coach job. We know that. Yeah. But maybe it's a solution.
Who's that? Kerwin's not going to do what?
He's not going to take anything below a head coach.
That's right. That's right.
So,
listen, JC and I went to school together. I know JC.
Everywhere he's been, he's won. Yeah, he has won. And we can say, oh, well, that's Valdosta State. That's JU. Let's not forget that he went to one of the number one high school programs in the state of Florida and dominated.
Yeah, well,
dominate. He knows how to coach, and that's just that is what it is.
Me and Jay, we went to school together. We grew up together.
He's old Mayo boy. I thought you went to Buchholz.
Not Kerwin. No. JC went to we grew up in Gainesville together.
Oh, Johnny okay. Corcoran. I got you.
And he has a lot of logic, but I'm gonna say this just like he's been told. Kerwin is not coming to University of Florida as an OC.
No, I don't want him as an OC.
He's not coming as a head coach until he's offered as a head coach.
Right. And again, I'm not saying that we should up and make that decision now, but I think it should be a conversation that should be maybe in the works. But I'm all for what Mr. Trek said is we gotta put our support behind this guy.
Yeah.
His patience was a little thinner in today's press conference than I had seen in the past. And what I got from that, Donnie, was that we're not getting the Billy Napier the players are getting. So a lot of fans are giving him flack for the lack of intensity and his pressers. And that's just who Billy is. But I have this feeling, and I haven't been to a practice, but I got this feeling he's different on the field.
Well, who are we going to go get?
Kerwin.
That's bringing the top 5. No, look. Who are we going to bring that's bringing the top 5 recruiting class to the University of Florida?
That's my next question. As the fans are calling for this dismissal, what is that going to do for our recruiting? We've got some pretty good commits. What is that? I mean, you're asking for something. You're asking for instant gratification to have him fired now because that's going to leave repercussions. There is no culture in that building, and you got to let culture build. Give someone time to fail.
Listen to this. All right, Jay. All right, you're getting on my soapbox. Listen to me. Get on my soapbox. Did Napier fly into Gainesville Airport and walk into the University of Florida with about 5 Maseratis in the garage? Did he?
No.
Did he? I mean, who was his Maserati that he could call on when he pulled in last year? You got Emory Jones and you got AR. Which one? That's what he had. What did he have for a running back? He had to go get him a running back.
He had to go get everybody. He had to go get Pearsall. He had to go get a receiving core.
My God, he's only into his third 3/4 of his second year. Are you kidding me? That's what makes me mad about. I'm telling you, the fans need to get off this man and let him do his job. Give him at least, heck, give him 4 years, because next year's, oh my God, if you see the schedule next year.
Yeah.
But he inherited this. He walked in and got a bunch of Volkswagens like Herbie's that's been sitting out there in the freaking junkyard and said, hey, take it. I'm gonna put 90,000 people in the stands, and I want you to win. I want you to go beat Georgia. I want you to go beat Tennessee. I want you to go beat LSU. I want you to go beat all these teams. And he gave him Volkswagens to work with. He ain't got him. He can't go to the drag strip. He can't go to the drag strip with.
He's putting him in Formula One with a Volvo.
Right. So I'm saying that's where all these OCs and ACs and DCs and all the C's you want. He scored. He got 30 points on Georgia. Maybe how many people have done that this year?
20 points.
I'm saying.
Still,
Sunday he scored 30. You can't win with 36 points in the SEC.
Nope, not without it. Not without the last defense in the SEC. We have the lowest ranked defense in every category except tackling. Surprisingly, in the SEC. Anyhow, Donnie B, folks, I want to take a quick break. When we come back, this do's or don'ts is going to be pretty quick for me. We'll be right back. Folks, we're back, and let's wipe that. Let's clear that. Let's get that out of our head. Not that the future looks any brighter. However, through all kinds of weather, I'm still Sheldon had a great point when we talked or on his show the other day. He said, I'm 12-0 every year. You ask me, I'm all in Gator. I don't look at the schedule to, and expect to lose games. I don't even look at the schedule. It doesn't matter what the schedule is. I'm 12-0, and then I just get disappointed throughout the season. And I like that. So I kind of want to have the attitude that, we went out, but I also want to be realistic, because this is not that show. And I'm a little more of a realistic Gator. I try not to be ignorant, although I don't know shit. However, we do have number 18. We have 3 ranked teams to close out our season. 2 of them away. LSU coming up. Number 18 with the loss to Alabama bumps them down a little bit, but I'm not sure that matters. On the bright side, and I don't mean this in any bad way, I don't want anyone to get injured. I don't want Brock Bowers to get hurt. I'm glad he didn't play, which it didn't really matter. But, I don't want any kid to get hurt. I don't like that. But QB Jaden Daniels is questionable. He's in concussion protocol, and their number 1 cornerback, Zy Alexander's out from a week 8 ankle injury. So having said that, my only do, and it has really nothing to do with that, is just play like you want your coach and your recruits to stay. Play like you want your coach and recruits to stay. And there's some of us Gators who can see through, we can see good plays. We can see good effort. 1, we see you. 3, we see you. 8, we see you. 6, we see you. 89, we see you. 2, 7, we see you, buddy. On the defensive side, 8, we see you. 1, we see you. So we're watching good play. We can see the good play, and we have talent. That is not. We got boys that can fly around the damn field. But what I want to say, what I want to see is those boys find some heart to play like their coach's job is on the line. Like these recruits that are coming in are on the line. We don't get to take these recruits to Baton Rouge, but they're going to be watching on TV, right? And they want to see that they're coming to, they know we're
Right.
going into Baton Rouge, like this, battered,
Right.
beaten. Definitely the underdog. I'm interested to see what the spread is on that. And so they know that it's not winning or losing is not going to get them away, but the play and the brand of play is going to override to them the
Right.
the quality of the win or loss, right? So that's my simple do is just play like you want your coach and your recruits to stay. Period.
Right.
And with
That's
that,
good.
I'm going to turn it back over to you, buddy.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I mean, listen, I don't know we're in a game that we're playing for the coach. We're playing more for those young guys that want to come to play at the University of Florida to know that they're doing everything they can and they can make a difference when they sign the dotted line. You know what I mean? That's what
Right.
I'm saying. I don't think Napier's going anywhere. Look, listen to me. I don't think he's going there to after year 4 or 5. So we might as well get behind him. And he might as well get behind. Quit. We don't.
Quickly.
It might listen. Let's talk about it. What is USC doing right now with the $10 million coach?
Firing a defensive coordinator.
What is okay?
And possibly losing a head coach to the NFL.
What is Neon Dion doing up there in Colorado right now?
Shit in the bed.
That's right. All right. What is the Texas A&M coach doing right now? What's
Shit in the
Jimbo
bed.
doing? That's right. I mean, look.
Sam Pittman technically is shit in the bed. He was shit in the bed until Saturday.
Well, he still might. You don't know, right? Listen, everybody always looks and puts the bar to. Well, Georgia's getting ready to be a dynasty, way it looks like to me, right? So we got to. They're just like on a different level. And that hurts me to say that because there's nothing about me. Georgia's one of them teams that I'm just want to see them lose every daggum game. Like I want. The only way they're going to lose now is if somebody tells them they play in Tennessee and they show up in California or something. That's the only way they're losing now. All right. I mean, and they could probably the boys they leave at the house probably could beat them. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, we can't make it. We're in California. I might want to ride over and play a game or whatever like that.
Do we need to suit up, Donnie?
Yeah, yes, we could probably suit up. If we could be sit on the sideline, we could be kind of like that backdrop and just have them dudes. Just, I mean, the 3s and 4s, they would probably beat anybody. They got a dynasty going. So, but look, other than that, when you're going through a rebuild, you got to be patient. But you know what? This is my due, Jay. This is my due. It's as simple as yours. This is what I want. This is, and they need to write this down because this is right. One of those sayings that's like I came up with that is, I mean, this is the saying. And think about it. Listen to this. Do something nobody expects you to do. Win.
That's great. Do something nobody expects you to do to win.
That's right.
That includes not throwing shoes.
Throwing shoes, jumping. Just look. Nobody. Your only people that are going to expect you to win the next 3 games is somebody that's got orange and blue sunglasses on. The tape shows you of what you put out there. Your body of work. When LSU goes and starts looking at tape, Florida State starts looking at tape, and Missouri looks at tape, they're going to be foaming at the mouth to go in that game.
Yeah,
because they're not even worried about it. We're like that guy that you want to schedule right now because they know what we have. I don't care. Billy Napier could, he could probably do this right now with our defense. He could probably do this. Now I might be wrong, but he could probably go, Coach, tell me what your play is on offense. Well, I'm going to run a spread. We're going to have the X. We're going to have a Y. And we're going to throw a bubble screen out to the left. And they're going to tell us what they're going to do. They're going to throw it out there. And because their dudes are a lot better than our guys, they're going to mow down our defense, and the guy's going to get 8 or 10 yards after knowing what it is. That's talk about recruiting and building a culture, building a program that you stack them back to back to back to back to back with those kids that can play football. And we haven't given our coach, Billy Napier, was a great guy. He has love for the Gators and has a heart that he wants to make this happen. But we're not doing our part. We're not patient at all. Social media, I just turned it off the other day because look, you go out there and coach them and see if you can win with them.
Yeah, like Shane says, and
Bring
I
Bill
know
Parcells in there and tell him bring Bill Parcells in here and Don Shula, or bring anybody in from
well,
bring them in and
I
coach
think
that
Don's
team.
dead, isn't he?
I'm just saying. I'm talking about people that.
No, that's a great point.
I'm,
And even Shane said it, to these,
yeah.
to the fans when they're talking about, oh, fire the OC, fire the, this and that. He says, who are you going to call? Call them.
Do something nobody
Give me a
expects.
name.
Just win.
Do something no one expects you to do to win.
That's right.
That is great. I wish we could get that to the locker room. I may have to pull some strings there, Donnie. That's a good one. That's better than anything I've got. You're on fire, so I'm gonna let you roll right into your don'ts.
Just basically don't. These kids can't listen to the media. Don't get distracted and don't give up. Don't just keep fighting, man. It's like you're going to war every day with. It's almost like when you look at we talked about this a couple shows back about our age of our team, our kids. They're young, man. They're not veterans. You look down over in Tallahassee, they got a bunch of veterans, and guess what happens after this year? Those veterans are going to be gone, and he's going to have to rebuild it because there ain't nobody playing behind him.
Right?
They have a bunch of veterans.
We have to develop kids. Period.
The only one that's unloading and reloading and sending the ones out that we think are going to be good because they don't want to be at Georgia. They're great, but they're not playing there because there's a bunch of them. Is the University of Georgia right now? So, just look, it's just a matter of trusting. So we always talk about trusting the process. All right, Gator Nation, how much of Gator Nation right now do you say is trusting the process with the eye test?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Just based on what I see and read through, watching the various broadcasts at different, podcasts and YouTube shows. I'm all in Gator, so I'm kind of on everybody's locked in, Peak, Shane, High Top. I would say just based on that interaction, it's less than 20.
Yeah. Right.
Way less than 20.
That what? 20
that,
less than
that really understand and have that, eye for, and are willing to, like you said before the show, and I'd like for you to repeat it, is that part of dying is, the part of the dying is trusting the process.
Trusting the process.
Right.
So like if I don't see it right now, it's kind of like faith. I don't see it now, but I believe it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Because you have to do that. So we have faith in Billy Napier to bring in. He's shown us a body of work that he's doing best he can with what he's got. But we're telling him, man, you got to be winning all these games. Yeah, I'm frustrated about 2-6 Arkansas game. But when I look at the body of work as far as what Arkansas looked like versus what we looked like on defense, it's a no-brainer, man. Come on. It's a no-brainer. I don't care who
you cannot tackle KJ Jefferson with your shoulder. I
you
know
can't.
that major right hit that we had in, against Oklahoma in that national championship game. That started that boom where I did a little short about this, is you can't do it like Major Wright. Major Wright, first of all, they had earned their way to the national championship. He had boomed his way. He could have intercepted the ball. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to light that kid up. He was full speed and he lit the kid up. Second play of the game, right? Or third play of the game. And now we've got these kids who aren't that fast or aren't that big or aren't that committed, to making that tackle or think that's how you're just
Right.
supposed to tackle. Get your arms around somebody, right? Some of these tackles, Donnie, are legal in flag football.
Listen, let me ask you this: can Steve Spurrier win with this? Can he get in the national championship with this team?
With this team right now, I'm again, it's development. If you let him develop them, yes.
No. Based on the eye test.
Based on the eye test,
Yeah.
no. This is no.
Okay. Do you think Urban Meyer could win a national championship with this team?
No.
Who can win a national championship?
They would be hard pressed to even maybe they make it to the SEC championship, but they'd be hard pressed to beat whoever, whether it was Ole Miss, Alabama, or LSU. They'd be hard pressed to beat them with this team. Even the head ball coach in Urban.
Jay, do you see compared? And I keep going back to Georgia because they're going to be a dynasty. But listen, they're building a dynasty up there. But if you look at the players across the line of scrimmage, do you think a Urban Meyer or a Steve Spurrier can make a difference?
I think they could have in that Georgia game, which definitely changes the whole landscape of the East moving forward. But again, I don't think even if one of them, even if in that scenario where Spurrier or Meyer beat Georgia regular season, they don't beat Lane Kiffin, Nick Saban, or Brian Kelly.
Who are they going to put in? What? All right, name somebody on defense. You named one, Major Wright. You named they had
I could go on. I could do another hour show and naming defensive players that were spectacular for the game.
Name one right now.
That is spectacular. That is just
name one.
It's hard to find one that's doing one consistently. I would say that Uman Mielen is giving really great effort. Again, he needs to build some strength. But I will say this, Donnie, that on both sides of the ball, the single most impactful player on both sides of the ball were freshmen. Trey Wilson on offense and the other kid, number 10, I don't know his name, on defense with the interception.
There you go. That's what I said. We talk about trust in the process, right?
Proof in the pudding, right?
We're talking about best players or real freshmen. Who recruited them?
Ding, ding, ding. Man, I really need to give one of those bells. Remember, on pardon interruption, because that would have got you. That we would have dinged out. We would have used the closing, would have been a ding. We'd have closed the show with dings for you there.
Right. So
that was good, Donnie.
Think about it, bro. Think about it.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the show. I do want to go over my don'ts real quick. Last week I said, if you remember, I said, don't fucking lose to the worst team in the SEC West. And apparently I just need to, I almost based on that, I shouldn't say what I'm going to say, but this week I'm going to say, just don't die in Death Valley. It's a night game and LSU, just stay alive. Just don't die. That's all I ask. Just come home. Okay. If it's 50-0, it's 50-0. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to throw my sucker in the dirt. I'm going to talk shit, but really and honestly, if we don't die in Death Valley, if the Gators literally someone doesn't die of a stroke or a heart attack on the field just because of being overwhelmed and die, this is really going to give these young boys. I'm telling you, man, they haven't been in a stadium yet. These freshmen, Trey Wilson hasn't been in a stadium like Death Valley under the lights, right? This is Death Valley. This is a 7:30 Eastern kickoff. It's going to be 6:30 over there, okay? None of these boys, 75% of our boys have not been in this environment. Now, we're going to see, we're going to separate men from boys. Who is going to use that energy and perform? And I think Trey Wilson, I think he's on the positive side of that. I think he's going to take that energy. This boy's all in Gator. Trey Wilson, I'm on this man's train. But as much as I love Ricky Pearsall, and I love me some Ricky Pearsall, man. I've mentioned before, and I'll keep saying again, that's my little man crush. Ricky Pearsall he's my ideal Gator, kind of, right? He was kind of like Riley Cooper to me, but kind of a little bit better. I know we can compare him to Doring. I think Pearsall has something in him that could surpass even those guys. But I'm concerned at how Ricky's going to handle Death Valley crowd. Whereas I think there are other players on our team that hopefully can find a way to feed off that. So that's my don't die in Death Valley at a night game.
Good.
Plain
Yeah.
and simple.
Yeah.
Just come home. I just hope the equipment trailer don't catch on fire or something like that. That's kind of my don't. There we go. My don'ts for the equipment team. Don't smoke. Don't smoke in a damn semi. Check the brakes before you leave.
See what?
Check the oil, check the trans, but you don't want no tranny, sparking up. You don't know Allison sparking up on the, road and catching helmets on fire. And let's just make it there and make it back. Plain and simple. Hey, Donnie B, this is super fun, man. I'm glad we started doing this, and I'm glad we got some Gator fans, chiming in and checking in on us. We don't have a whole lot of interaction in the comments, but that's okay. I know they're watching. We're picking up a subscriber or two here and there, folks.
Yeah.
We appreciate you doing that. If you like what we're doing here, we ask that you like and subscribe. Donnie B. LSU, man. Here it is. The Tigers. Let's buckle them seatbelts. Let's do something no one expects you to do to win.
There you go.
And I think I'm gonna put that in our little show notes here and make sure everybody sees that, just in case anybody in that office happens to watch the show. They may be able to pass that little note along. Again, I might have a little connection that I could maybe squeeze that in, and it may take off, but who knows. Folks, Donnie B, as always, through all kinds of weather, we're all in Gators. We'll all stick together.
Right.
We'll see you Saturday, pregame. It'll be kind of late, so we'll see pregame. I'll be live Saturday, and then you'll catch Donnie B and I again next Monday, live at 8 here on the Talking Gator. We love you. Go Gators.
What's up, guys?